Good afternoon. How are we doing, guys? How's my camera looking? It's all doing that. I've got to do mount and everything. Toby Gosling, you are first. You win the internet for today. Well done. Richard Benham, he's also here. Close, but no cigar to being first. Theo Cole, g'day. What style of music is this? Yes, indeed, that was dubstep, as Chris Grant rightly pointed out. Good evening to you, Chris. Thank you for joining. Michael Askew's also here. Another Chris. Evening to you. Eliza's here. Check out her channel. She's good stuff. Aslan, good evening, my good people. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. My new video is going bonkers. It's my most watched video, possibly ever, within the first like 3 hours. It's on like 3,000 views. That's looking very promising. I took my son to do his first ever vegan food shop yesterday. And yeah, it went really well. We had a real laugh as well. I think that comes across on the vlog. I think it's really good fun. Theo, shout out from Canada. Thank you. How's the vegan scene? Where are you in Canada? How's the vegan scene there? Michael wasn't expecting this stream. So my current thinking, guys, is I'm going to try to do 2 daily streams for the foreseeable future. One will be between about 8 and 9 a.m. kickoff for about an hour and a half. And then one will be normally around 6 p.m. kickoff, except tonight we were live streaming on the Jane Unchained News Network. We did a recipe video for that channel on Facebook. That'll be out in a couple of Mondays' time, I think. I'll let you know when it comes out. So yeah, we're a bit late on today, but I thought better late than never. I'll only do an hour now because it's getting a bit late. It's getting a bit towards bedtime, but I didn't want to let my lovely friends down. So here I am. Lisa is enjoying my glasses. Thank you. They are Armani. Not that they have to be. I don't know why I'm bigging up the designer. I sort of eschewed designer brands now. I got them years ago. I don't know why I felt the need to say that. Ignore that. Ignore me saying that. Oh, sorry, Eliza. I've been struggling to sleep much recently because of the hot weather. It does make it harder, doesn't it? I've been using no cover. And that has definitely helped.
Windows open as well.
Windows open. And if I ever struggle a little bit, I have got some capsules on standby. And I think they work well as a stack. It is L-theanine, L-theanine, which is the compound out of green tea, which like makes you calm. It puts you into these like delta brainwaves, which are sort of like they're quite meditative, like brain cycle. And as well a magnesium supplement, but specifically magnesium threonate. And there's like 2 or 3 versions of magnesium, which are particularly good at crossing the blood-brain barrier and helping you to sleep. And that's one of them. So L-theanine, magnesium threonate, and yeah, I stack those together. I take them like half an hour before bed, and they really help. They really, really help. Theo, I watched the vid. What a beauty. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was really pleased with. I had a feeling it was going to come out well because we were having such a good crack, and it's just nice to be able to talk to a non-vegan about veganism and them not be defensive. And like he was a little bit cheeky, and he said like a couple of cheeky things about, I suppose I can't have cheese on my cauliflower, and like I sort of pretended to rough him up a bit. Ordinarily, like, you know, he's not quite in the vegan mindset yet. I think he's heading that way. But Red Pebble, I wish I was your son. Hi, lovely. How are you doing? He is heading that way, but he's not, you know, obviously not got the same mindset as someone who's been vegan 9 years. And normally, if someone makes a joke about this sort of thing, I'm thinking of the animal's perspective, and I'm thinking of, you know, dairy calves being taken from their mothers grieving, the dairy calf being shot in the head, you know, a little baby cow or baby like bovine, and you know, the little crates that they keep in the veal crates so that they can't walk around, and so their muscle tissue is softer to eat. You know, I find that really sickening and disgusting. So normally I wouldn't laugh at someone joking about some cheese or something, but the fact that he's so non-defensive, and I just know his character, he's just a lovely lad, and like, so it didn't enter my head to be angry about it or annoyed or upset. It was refreshing to be able to talk to someone about veganism, you know, a non-vegan, and he's just super cool. And I've got a suspicion he's going to do well. Theo is in Western Canada, beef country. Yuck, bless you, that must be hard. Gus, evening. What's the increase in veganism over the last couple of years, do you think? Probably not a whole lot. Really. I think it is gathering momentum, but I think it's still probably less than 1% worldwide, truth be told. I mean, we do have studies come out which say it's more than that, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice to think they were right, and you'd like to. But I just wonder how thorough these studies really are, in all honesty. And if someone's going to fill in a form about it, well, maybe a vegan is far more likely to answer it. So then it gives you like a false positive sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't really know. I suspect it's not as much as some has been made out in some quarters, but I think it is gathering momentum for sure. And particularly like the cutting down of animal products in the West. I mean, it's growing in China, but in the West, you know, we're starting to eat a lot more plant-based alternatives. And I think most of that is not down to vegans. It's down to people wanting to reduce, like so-called flexitarians. So as much as I'd like everyone to go vegan and, you know, for the cruelty to end yesterday, you know, the fact that there's so many of them, it is having a massive effect, and it is hurting like the meat and dairy industries, and it is bringing them the day that they fall to their knees like closer. So I do take that as a good thing. Yeah, a fan. Yeah. Hang on. Let's answer the other questions first, or comments. Blickstairs, Paul, you have a son, but you look so good, bro. Like for real, I'm not even trying to be nice, I'm being honest. Thank you, brother, that's really kind of you. That helps to balance out all the carnivore comments which say I look like an old granddad. Chris Grant, yeah, Eliza, I use a fan. Yeah, air conditioning machine's expensive. Yeah, if you just have the fan like on you. Yeah, we used to do that, didn't we, Gem? I think she's got headphones in. But yeah, we've done that before. Maybe we need to get back into that. But yeah, I've just kept the cover off the last few nights, and that's been fine for me. David Lev, can I just be vegan with all the tablets and stuff? Not quite sure exactly what you're saying. Are you saying can you be vegan and just take supplements and eat no real food? Well, the definition of being vegan is to not use any products of animal origin. So, yeah, you could just, you could just, as long as you're not eating anything non-vegan. If you're not eating animals, you're vegan. So, yeah, I guess you can. It wouldn't be very healthy, though. I wouldn't recommend it. Race, you're very silly. I love you, man. Welcome to the stream. Oh, hello, cowboy. Gomez, I send my love to everyone in the stream. Our house just went on auction yesterday, so it's like a beehive here. I've got some... send my love when I see this going on. So sending love to all. Right back at you, Gomez. I hope you're doing okay, my lovely. I know this is probably a blinking trying time for you. Bless you. Can we send Gomez some love, please, people? She needs it right now, and she's a good person. Luke says, I have white spots on my nails, but I literally eat such a good diet. I'm always stressed and I have insomnia. Any tips? Stressed and insomnia, but your diet's good. Is your diet exemplary? Is it all whole foods, plant-based? White spots, isn't that zinc deficiency? White spots on nails. Cause. Yeah, zinc deficiency. Oh, and maybe calcium as well. So, maybe you think your diet's better than it is. So, if, you obviously know how good your diet is, maybe it's fine. But if you've not really checked, so get on Chronometer, plug it all in and just see if you're getting 100% of your RDA for zinc and calcium. Stress, it's not just diet and sleep. It's not just diet. It's toxic people, job you hate, lack of friends, lack of like a sense of purpose in life. Sleep is really going to hurt you. So first thing in the morning, get the sunlight in your eyes within an hour or so of sun up. That really helps. Cold shower first thing really helps. And then towards night time, well, an hour before sundown, within an hour of sundown, if you can get that light in your eyes, that tells your brain that it's time to get ready for sleep. So it tampers down your photoreceptors. Don't have lights on in your home, or if you do have them dark, try to have them lower than your eye level. So ideally floor lighting is best because your photoreceptors are actually towards the bottom of your eyes, believe it or not. So that's good. Don't eat within like 2 or 3 hours of bed. Caffeine, that's going to be a problem. Technology within like 2 or 3 hours of bed, ideally, like get rid of that. A hot bath or a hot shower before bed, that will help you sleep. That because of the heat, and then you get out and then you start to cool, that sends a message for sleep. Heat actually is more of a predicator of sleep and wake than light is. It's that powerful. As I say, L-theanine, magnesium 3 and 8 before bed, that can be good. CBD oil is really good for sleep and for like calmness. 30% off with code HENCH10, link below. Honest Temp, great brand, which is why I work with them. Yeah, I think that's most of the things I'm aware of. You could try physiological sighs before bed. So when you get into bed, you do this breathing pattern, 2 in breaths, sharpish, and then a long out breath. So it looks like this. But even longer. And repeat that 20 to 30 times. That really brings down your epinephrine and would help you to be calm and to sleep. If you're stressed, meditation is massive. As I say, the cold showers, cold therapy, Breath work as well, very good. And that's a good way to wake yourself up as well, breath work. Type in Wim Hof breathing into YouTube, and there's like a guided, video. Hope that helps. Iridescent 04, she's up in it. Love the glasses. Thank you. They suit you very well. Also, the new video with your son is great. How old is he? He'll be 26 fairly soon. Yeah, he's 25 at the minute. And he's a good boy. Eliza has a fan, but it's quite noisy. Earplugs. And again, if you're struggling to sleep, earplugs may be a benefit. You want it as quiet as possible. You want it as dark as possible. If you've not got like blackout blinds, if it's a bit light in your room, that's not going to help. So like a sleeping mask, although that can make you a little hotter, but you'll sleep a lot better if the darker it is. Gus, 2 years ago, Asda wouldn't have so much alternatives. Asda, well, I think all the supermarkets now in the UK, they've got so many options now. It's literally blown up in the last couple of years, particularly in more recent weeks. Kind of Christmas time, really. I really noticed it take off. Without tablets and stuff. Right. So can I be vegan without all the tablets and stuff? It's a bit easier if you take like a B12 supplement. There are foods that are meant to have B12 in. We've proven in vitro that it's there, but we've not proven in vivo, really. I don't think that they necessarily work in humans. I mean, they kind of ought to, but Dr. Greger of Nutrition Facts, like he's saying for now, he's hedging his bets and he's saying stick to a supplement. So, yeah, B12 supplement. But, 2/5 of Americans are B12 deficient or like insufficient. So it's not just a vegan thing. The fact is that the landscape has changed, and it's not as it was, like unsterilized, when we evolved our current physiology. But yeah, vitamin D, like you're meant to really get from the sun. It's hard to get sufficient, even from animal products. So yeah, it's not much different whether you're vegan or an omnivorous eater. There's still one or two things that you may need in order to be optimal. But other than that, if you eat enough calories, if you eat the range of whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices, you'd be hard pressed not to be able to get a really good diet and get pretty much everything you need from your nutrition. Iodine's important, and for that I would recommend a little bit of seaweed daily. But yeah, it's no more difficult than it is for an omnivorous eater. But the benefit of eating a healthy vegan diet over an omnivorous diet is just that. Like, it can actually be healthy. I don't think, there's no health benefits to eating meat. And it's really a case of how much can you get away with? And the answer is very little before you start to get like disease processes like happening in the body. It's just not worth it. And like I say, like 2/5 of Americans, and most Americans are not vegan. They're struggling. So, Angel Cooper, nice to see you, hun. So happy I got your live. Just got back from the beach, had a lush swim. Oh, nice. I bet that was lovely. It's so hot, isn't it? Hello.
I'm now putting the cookbooks up to full price.
Yeah.
If anybody wants them before I do it, you've got 1 minute.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah, I'm now on the website.
I'll repeat it in case they didn't hear you, because the mic's facing me. So our cookbooks have been half price for blinking months. We're about to put them full price. Give it 5 minutes, Gem, just in case people have to find their cards up or something.
Okay.
You've got 5 minutes. If you want to get our 2 cookbooks at half price each, so they're $4.99 each basically, it's your last chance. So I don't know, whether we'll put them half price again or not, but it won't be for a long while. So if you've been thinking about getting virtuous vegan desserts, or where do you get your protein, it's your last chance, at least for a very long while. So you've got 5 minutes. Link below. Link below. Oh, I just got a splinter. Blixdes, is there any split I should follow? I'm lean. in terms of weight training, what is your goal? And, you know, different splits can work. It's just a matter of having balance in your program, you know, in terms of frequency, intensity, volume, sets, reps, number of exercises. It's not that one particular split works the best. It's that whatever split you choose has to be in balance. And, you know, any split can potentially be good. I've trained many different ways over my life, and I think it's beneficial sometimes to mix things up a little bit, truth be told. Lolly's in the hizzy. Hey, good to see you. I'm doing very well. Nicholas, hey, I always watch your videos. You're amazing. Well, you're amazing for saying that. Whereabouts are you, Nicholas ONA? How's the vegan scene there? How's veganism treating you? And how are you doing? And welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. You're most welcome, brother. Everyone's sending the love. That's brilliant. Keep calm. Hi again, Hench. I'm doing okay, but I'm bloated all the time, even after the end of my 18-hour fast. Wow, that's crazy. I've had this problem even before I was vegan. I eat around 70 grams of fibre a day and only whole foods. Yeah, you shouldn't really have an issue.
Me, I had still bloating after my fast, and I'm now figuring out I've got a pancreas issue, aren't I?
Yeah, I think you may have an underlying issue, and I would run some tests. I think the first thing to look at is likely your sort of gut health, so kind of gut tests, like have you got a infection or and Gemma's got like issues with certain organs, so I would work with your doctor, really, to be honest. And see what is there an underlying condition that needs sorting out. Yeah, Gemma was struggling for ages, and it took so long to diagnose, trying everything under the sun. It can be difficult sometimes. So I hope, get some professional help, and I hope you soon get on top of it. But yeah, run some tests, really. Try to diagnose exactly what it is. You could speak to Goji Man YouTube channel. He's a real wizard at gut. If it's gut, like, he may well have an answer for you. Watch a few of his videos to see if anything resonates. I hope you soon sort that out. Nicholas brings up a good point. Leafy greens. Leafy greens. I'm not sure why he's saying that, but I like it. I'm a big fan of those words. Angel, blimmin' hell, I want to watch your new video so bad, but I don't want to miss anything in this live. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Well, you can watch the replay. If you copy the link, you could then come back to it later on, because I set it to unlisted, but I don't make it private, so you could still watch it if you want. It would benefit the video and the algorithm the more views it gets early on. Or if you want, you can just play it. Actually, guys, yeah. Do you want to do me a favor? If you're on a computer and you can open multiple tabs, if you want to play the new video in another window, have it quiet or whatever, that would really help get it out to more people. So thanks in advance if you can be asked to do that. I know most of you are probably on phones though. Blickstairs, yes, my diet is amazing. Literally 4 cans of beans, all my leafy greens, veggies, onions increases zinc and iron on chronometer. I reached 99%. Just a case of B12, that is 99%. Right, so you just need like another few micrograms of B12 to get it at 100, I guess. Yeah, so that's good. That ought to be really good, doesn't it? How's your gut health? Do you have like sort of any gut issues? Wonder if maybe there's some malabsorption potentially. Ray Steve, if I'm up within an hour of sunrise, it's because I haven't been to bed yet. Naughty. Sleep is so key, you naughty boy. It's only because I love you. Shlok Tiwari. Views on hummus. Make your own. Don't have the stuff with store-bought stuff with like oil in it. It's not really. I don't see it as a health food. It's certainly not as healthy as the whole foods it displaces. But a homemade one. I mean, we just use like some chickpeas, a little water or veg stock to loosen, but some tahini, so you've still got the fatty element. Garlic, obviously super healthy. Cumin, You know, I think some people put one or two other things in there, don't they? Lemon is good. Delicious, very nutritious. I mean, you're better off eating the whole chickpeas because then because you make it into such a paste, you make the particles so small that you absorb more, say, of the resistant starch into your bloodstream. So there's not so much to feed the gut microbiome, which we do need to optimize if we want to be, you know, the best versions, the healthiest versions of ourselves that we can be. But, you know, on the scale of things, if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet and, yeah, you whiz some of your legumes up, it's not going to kill you. And it's delicious. And it just helps you to get more volume of food down. For me as a bodybuilder, I do need to have some sauces and dips and just to, like, lubricate things up and make them more tasty and just so I can huss it all down the hatch. I think it's great, but yeah, I would avoid oily ones. I don't think they're optimal for health. Well, they're not optimal for health. Vegan Mooncat, how's the camera timeout going? Yeah, not at all. It's staying on. So, how long have you been streaming for? 31 minutes. So, yeah. And in fact, the camera was on before I started streaming. Oh, I got my new stick as well. I got my new stickers turned up. So we're looking good, Mooncat, and thank you again for all your help. Oh yeah, and do subscribe to that vegan Mooncat. He's flipping great. Yeah. Maurizio, hi. Me and my girlfriend have been eating plant-based since January 2020. Nice. Was that the old veganuary thing? Last couple of weeks, we both noticed our hair is getting thinner. We did some research and might be a protein deficiency. Thoughts? How much protein are you eating between you or each? Something B12. Yes, good. And yeah, like, are you taking care of your other nutrients? So, in case you've not heard of it, I'm a big fan of the Chronometer app. So I'll just get that up so you can have a look at him. So you can have a look at that fella, as my good friend Mooncat says. Oh, I need to pan the camera up a bit. Anyway, that'll do for now. I'm looking quite dark as well, am I? Maybe I need to sort this lighting out a bit better. Anyway, Chronometer. Chronometer. It's a free program. You can get an app as well, which is like, I don't know, a couple of quid. It's not much money. You basically plug your food in and the amounts. And then it tells you, you know, here's your fats, here's your protein, essential amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. And basically, you need to hit 100% on most of these things in order to be healthy. And if you're shy on any of them, you know, that could be the cause of it, or it's going to be doing something negative in your body. So I really would encourage everyone to go on Chronometer. You know, particularly when you start like a new way of eating, just so you can get a handle on the types of foods you need. You know, once you've used it for a couple of weeks, you probably don't need to use it again because you then understand like what you're doing and why. And if anyone is like struggling at all, oh, hang on. If anyone is struggling at all, we've got a free guide there online. Oh no, sorry. Free guide, which is called How to Eat Plant-Based Successfully. And that's a little booklet, and it just tells you how to do all the things. It's the basic overview, everything you really need to know. But yeah, down here now, we've just put out a new online course, and it's basically everything I know about nutrition, everything Gemma knows about how to action it, you know, source ingredients, what appliances you need in the kitchen, like what are some good recipes, how do you cook without oil, all this, basically everything you would need to know to be a healthy vegan and to make sure you get all your nutrients. There's even a chart, downloadable chart of the nutrition needs by age, stage of life, that sort of thing. Loads of downloadable stuff, 14 videos, about 80 recipes, I think, getting on for. There's the 60 out of the, you get the 2 cookbooks with it. So, yeah, highly recommended. You need a bit more space above your head. I think if I change this now, it might monkey it up, but we'll have a go because we're perfectionists around here. I feel like that's too much space now. Space, the final frontier. There we go. I'll just sit up a bit. Thanks, Mooney. Theo Cole says B12 fortified food instead of tablets. I'm not a fan because B12, it makes it difficult to absorb when you've got food in there. You really, ideally, should take a B12 supplement on an empty stomach. I do it first thing in the morning under the tongue tincture. You need quite a lot from fortified food, and apparently for some reason you need to take it like 3 times a day. You need quite a lot, so I prefer not to have to try and rely on that and get all those foods in. You know, fortified foods, if it's fortified with other stuff, you're going to be getting like negatives that you don't need. So, I mean, it can be done, but I think it's a much more of a ball ache. And I think just a supplement on an empty stomach is so much more reliable. It's a tough one, B12, like it is a tough one to fulfill. Particularly for an older person, you actually need 1,000 micrograms a day for someone who is over age 65, for instance, because we have less intrinsic factor in order to absorb it. Where was I? Where the hell was I? I feel like I've missed stuff out. What's going on? Fallon Marie actually made a live stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Good to see you, lovely. Booksters is Whole Foods, nice. Gemma.
Yeah.
Race Lever wonders why you pretended to be a ghost today.
Why not?
Why not? Why not indeed? Damn the glasses. We sophisticated now. I sure am. I'm sophisticated with my vest on. Ryan, we love seeing the video of you and your son. Great video. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. The whole experience and making the video as well. He's a natural, do you think? I thought he did really well, which was frustrating because that was a steep learning curve for me to get any good at it. Angel, I've got a solution. I'm on my phone watching the live, but I'm going to watch the other video on my iPad next to me. You absolute nutcase. I love it. I love it. Big Spoon Bear. Hey, Paul, just finished watching your Asda video of your son. Much you respect. It was awesome to watch. Thank you. Yeah, like I say, I really enjoyed that video. Lolly, I just played your videos in the background a couple of times today. As I remembered, you said if you stop them, it starts to mess up the algorithm. Yeah, it can do. So I've certainly seen your shopping trip loaded. Oh, you're so kind. I really appreciate that. It does make a big difference. Like if like 10% of my subscribers did that, I'd probably get like thousands. Well, I would get literally thousands more views, and it would just push the videos more in the algorithm, and then more like unsubscribed people would see them. So I know we've all got busy lives and stuff to do. So you know, it's not like I do. Well, I do. If someone else's video comes into my feed, I'll start watching it. If I don't like it, I'll just open up another window and let it play in the background. You know, just if you start to watch a video and you exit early, it just tells YouTube, oh, this video is rubbish. Like, don't share it out. So thank you, Lolly. I really appreciate you. Mincat, how did the cooking show go? Really good. We had one technical issue halfway through. I forgot that I left my alarm on and it went off and it interrupted the food cam on the phone. Bit of editing will take that right out, so that'll be absolutely fine. I was kicking myself, like, what a stupid thing to forget. Super Monkey, that's great. Just bought myself a food processor looking forward to making nice cream and leveling up my smoothie game. My blender was a pain in the bum cheese. Yeah, if you don't get a good one, they are a problem. Good, enjoy that. Big Spoon, got my weights out, learning to pick up heavier stuff. That's a good skill to have. It's a good skill to have. Super Monkey. Should I worry about selenium on a vegan diet? Yes. Is a small amount of Brazil nuts sufficient? Even a smallish amount of Brazil nuts can be too much. For an average person, I think you need about not even a little over half of Brazil nut, if it's like been grown in decent soil, is enough. You only need like, what is it now? I've forgotten. It's only a few micrograms, isn't it? Okay, so basically, I think this is one Brazil nut. So on a small amount of calories I prescribed for a lady on a cut once as a nutritionist, I gave her one Brazil nut. Well, actually, no, I'll press on the Brazil nut. So we'll just speak about the Brazil nut. That's the easiest way, isn't it? So one Brazil nut was about 90 micrograms of selenium, and it was 165% of the RDA. So yeah, you just need a bit over half of one, really. Particularly if your diet is very calorically dense and you're eating all whole foods, you're going to get selenium in other places as well. 4 Brazil nuts in a day would push the average adult up against the tolerable, safe upper daily limit for selenium. After that is toxicity, and you know, do that for a few days in a row, you're going to know all about it. So I would say whole foods, plant-based diet, maybe bung 1 Brazil nut in, and you probably get like twice the RDA. Multi-pause, you lucky people. Too much information, big spoon. Yeah, you're right, TMI. Spice, what are your thoughts? What are the effects of an iodine deficiency? I forgot to eat seaweed pretty often. Yeah, that's not going to be good. I don't know. It'd be like poor hair and nail. I mean, it probably does 1,000,001 things. I don't really know off the top of my head. I just know, like, get 150 micrograms a day. Iodine deficiency. What are the symptoms? Fatigue, sensitivity to cold, constipation, dry skin, weight gain, puffy face, muscle weakness, elevated cholesterol. Yeah, don't be doing that to yourself. So once a day, a teaspoon of dulse or arame flakes, 1 1/8 of a teaspoon of wakame, a 1/16 of a teaspoon of kelp powder, a couple of 1.5, 2 nori sheets, you know, like the sushi seaweed that you use to wrap sushi. Yeah. I need to see Paul's whole head, or I'm just unhappy. Oh, that's very kind, Mooncat. You've got a beautiful head too. Big Spoon Bear, what a beautifully scary head and face and shoulders he has. I think I'll take that as a compliment. You, Dave, what do you think about avocados killing so many bees? Yeah, don't throw avocados at bees. It will squash them. Cut that out. Iridescent 04. Do you have a recipe for a healthy vegan cheese that melts well and can be used for vegan racelet? I've not heard of racelet. Is that one of Race Lever's, a Race Lever inspired omelette? No. I don't have a recipe for a healthy vegan cheese that melts. That's really, like, coconut oil is good for that, isn't it? But that's really bad for your heart health. Yeah. I've not found a healthy vegan cheese that is sort of melty. Yeah. Has anyone else got any perspective on that? I'd be interested to hear, actually. That'd be a nice thing to be able to have. Johnny Mayan in the Hizzy, good to see you. Fella Marie, it's good to know sometimes I get busy enough to finish the videos later. Yeah. Bless you. Jotaro, there was a study saying that 4 Brazil nuts a month, I think. No, that would be insufficient. There was a study citing 4 Brazil nuts, but it said that 4 Brazil nuts a month lowers serum cholesterol, which I think is probably just nonsense. I wonder if the study was controlled for like the other foods in the diet, which often they're not. Scene play, can white potatoes be eaten every day? Yeah, they're healthy. I mean, they're not the healthiest, but as long as you're not eating in caloric excess, like they're a whole food. They're actually very satiating and can help you to lose weight, believe it or not. There's a lot of water in there. Like grains, which would displace them, are a lot more calorically dense. So I think they're a good strategy for weight loss, actually. Thomas Chappelle, good to see you again. I've just gotten a new job as a bus driver and it's shift work. Any advice for preventing weight gain? Thank you, bro. Yeah, no worries. Just eat less. Don't eat more calories than you burn. So if you're more sedentary because you're not, you're sitting down. Well, obviously you're using some muscles, but if you're burning less calories than you were before, just eat a little bit less. High carb, whole foods, plant-based diet. Loads of veggies, loads of low calorie fruit. But eat well of legumes, whole grains, tubers. Low calorie fruit and veg. Should be easy. I mean, you should be able to easily lose weight if you want, eating tons of whole plant foods because they're so calorically dilute. It's when you bung in loads of things like nuts, seeds, whole nut and seed butters, avocados. You want a little of these for your essential fatty acids, but of course, fats are 9 calories per gram, whereas protein and carbs are 4 calories. So they're so much more calorically dense that you can't eat very many of them, relatively speaking. You should do race lever. You should. Oh, I've missed comments again. How do I keep doing that? Super Monkey, what about eating one like every 2 days, or do I need to consume selenium every day? You don't need to consume it daily. I prefer to consume most things daily though, and just have like a small amount. One every 2 days, unless you've got a reasonable amount in your diet, probably wouldn't be adequate for your average adult. How did I miss those? Niblet. Niblet. I like that. Viva Life, Thrive versus Whole, which would you recommend? Depends what job you want. So Thrive is like a multivitamin, multi-mineral, but a healthy whole foods one. So no, not much in the way of calories, whereas Thrive really is a meal replacement sort of shake. So, it's a lot of, there is like some of the components of Thrive, some of the whole plant food powders, the vitamins and minerals are also in there. But, the main bulk of it is energy. It's like, carbs, protein as well, and some healthy fats. So, you're kind of comparing apples and oranges there. Booksters, I'm pretty sure since I'm always stressed, my body was getting rid of zinc like crazy. That's probably why also the stress messes with my gut. So that's my final claim. Yeah, if you're stressed out and then you're not digesting things properly. Although sometimes you can be stressed because your gut microbiome is in poor array. So it can work both ways, actually. Try to limit your stress as much as you can. Certainly I wouldn't be adding in like caffeine and other stimulants. I wouldn't be doing HIIT training. I would just be doing some sort of steady state cardio. Make sure you're doing some like training as well. That really helps. But yeah, the other things like the meditation, the breath work, the cold therapy, they're huge. They're really powerful. I've felt the benefit myself. Uday, I'm vegan myself, by the way. I saw knows about avocados being destructive AF to the environment. That's why we should cut it out temporarily, in my opinion. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you may well be right. I eat some, of course you can always do like better. You could just eat real local produce, but I think the diet would be so bland. And also I'm trying to show the world that the diet's not restrictive and that you can enjoy it, just to inspire more people to change over. And of course, the main thing really is not the type of food it's not the transportation of foods, it's the type of food we eat. It's just exponentially worse if we're eating animal products. So once the world stops eating animal products, I think a bit of air miles will be fine. It won't then matter at that point. But yeah, Race brings up a good point. Plant your own avocado trees. You can do that. Super Monkey, have you tried making aioli but with only silk tofu, citrus and garlic? Yeah, I believe so. It turned out really well. feel like silken tofu can replace many things similar to aioli mayo. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, we've got a couple of recipes in our new course using, actually doing that very thing, including a mayo. And real high protein, real healthy. Brilliant. Mooncat, the only vegan cheese I like is Thai cheese. That's amazing. Yeah, it don't melt, but amazing flavours, particularly the Ethiopian. Yeah, no coconut oil. I used to like the Ethiopian one best, and then I tried their za'atar spice, and actually I found that to be even better. I couldn't believe it. We got sent a nice selection box from them actually. One Christmas, it had a dozen of that different flavours, and they were all winners. They were all winners. It's an amazing company, and as you say, healthy, heart healthy instead of giving you heart disease. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Recently, we're still talking about the old bees and avocados. It's not always the case. Like it's just in some instances they need to bring in bees, but like there are avocados in some places around the world where there are already bees. So you don't know like which ones are good or not. I wonder if you can look it up and just buy from a certain area or something. I don't know. It's not something I've bothered to do. But yeah, like you just said, you probably should. Iridescent racelet is a Swedish dish where you fill small pans with veggies, etc. Put racelet cheese on top and put the pan on the tabletop, grill, some other cheese on top of the veggies. Oh, so it reminds me of fondue a little bit. Is that a Swiss thing, fondue? Not the cheese, but yeah, cheese melts on top of veggies. That sounds lovely. Sinan, that's a cool name. Thoughts on 80-10-10 and how much omega-6 do you need per day? That's a good question, and the answer is we don't know. All we have is an AI, an adequate intake, and that really is just a mean of how people eat in a poor diet, like specifically a standard Western diet, where omega-6 deficiency doesn't exist. They're just saying, oh, well, just eat roughly what your average crap eater is eating, which unfortunately is very high in omega-6, particularly oils, chicken, eggs, really pro-inflammatory. It is an essential fatty acid, as you probably know, so we do need to eat some. I personally don't worry as long as I get about half the RDA. And the other thing is you don't want it more than 3 to 4 times the amount of omega-3 you eat. So that's another reason why you don't want it particularly high. You do you. I'm kind of inferring, but yeah, I've done that for many years and I have no problems. I've never heard of anyone with omega-6 deficiency. I've never heard of it. So yeah, I tend to just go in at about half and I'm satisfied with that. Thoughts on 80-10-10. I mean, the longest lived people on record were eating like 85-7-8. So it seems to be good on paper. I just wonder if someone's on a small amount of calories, if they've got adequate fats with which to form steroid hormones. I personally, unless someone has got a lot of calories, I prefer to see the fat, if they're on low calories, nearer 15%, just to hedge my bets. And protein-wise, that may be okay for your average person, as long as they're getting 46 grams of protein for a female, 56 for a male on average. But if they're an athlete, it's not going to be optimal, and they are going to need to up that percentage as well. Great questions. Owen Samurai, great video with your son. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really proud of that video. I'm really proud of him. And that was his first time on camera as well. You'd never know, would you? I thought he was great. Big Spoon Bear, booked my wedding. Me and Mrs. Little Spoon Bear are getting hitched on the 18th of September. Let's have a round of applause for Big Spoon and Little Spoon Bears. That's lovely. Blix says, Hench, what's the most effective workouts for the triceps if you have dumbbells and a whole bar with weight? So a barbell Close grip bench is very good. Close grip dips, if you've got an ability to do that, is very good. Or you could do like chair dips with your feet elevated and the chair behind you. They're very good. I think like compounds like that are some of the better ones in terms of ISO movements. In order to train the long head of the triceps, which many people lack, you either need to be at a stretch, so like dumbbell like overhead, or you can lay down and do like a skull crusher type thing. That gets it. Or you have to have your shoulder in extension, so you'd have your arm behind you. So I think kickbacks, or I like to get 2 ropes on it. Oh, you can't do that with the weights, but with a high pulley, I like to do presto. But you could do kickbacks. My little foible with kickbacks is, how do I do this? I like to rotate my hand upwards towards the end of a kickback, and I find that helps engage like the 3 heads of the triceps better. I feel like it really cramps it up and gives an amazing contraction. So yeah, that would be my top tips. I would do 1 or 2 of the compounds first, and then 1 of the ISOs after. Yeah, maybe 2 compounds, 1 ISO. Well, depending on, again, like your whole balance of your workout. Jonathan, what specific veggie and fruits you would recommend to eat every day based on how vitamin and nutrient dense they are? That is a really great question. For the most in-depth answer, check out my latest video where I took my son shopping. We really went into depth on that. But yeah, just quickly now, fruits-wise, berries, number 1. That's the only fruit I really emphasise. Any berries, blackberries are the most nutritionally dense of the UK berries, which is where I live, the local ones. But any berries are good. Lower calories, very high in nutrients. That's about the only fruit I would really seriously consider eating like on the daily. I do use dried fruits as a calorie source, being a bodybuilder and having to eat high amounts of calories and trying to keep the volume down. But in terms of nutritionally, yeah, it's just really the berries for me. I understand that melons are pretty good for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, that's it really. But vegetables, I say to include a couple of servings of leafy greens for the minerals, for the vitamin K. Particularly, have at least 1 serving of cruciferous vegetables per day. This is your kale, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, broccoli sprouts. Basically, cruciferous from the word crucifix. If you cut through the stems, you'll see it's like a cross. And these foods, you'll notice they're all quite peppery. And that flavour is actually a built-in insecticide called sulforaphane. And it's really like anti-cancer. It boosts your liver enzymes, so you can like detoxify like really well. It's very, very, very powerful anti-cancer. I think that's the second most powerful compound, but found in most sort of vegetables. After, is allium better or is that better? No, that's the top one, and then allium is good. So you also want to include 1 serving of an allium vegetables, aka onions, leeks, shallots, garlic, spring onions, or green onions, or scallions, depending on where you're living in the world, you might know them as. Mushrooms, not even a vegetable or a fruit, a fungi. But I like to try and include 1 serving a day. These have unique micronutrients that are not even found in the plant kingdom. One of them, ergothioneine, is one of the rare intra-mitochondrial antioxidants. Actually, that is better. So it basically can get inside the little motors that run your cells and undo oxidative stress there. There was an old theory of mitochondrial theory of aging, which has kind of been surpassed now to the point that we don't really kind of believe that. But if we still did, we could really say that it seemed to be potentially like life extending. But I think that's fallen out of favour now with longevity experts. I think that's about it. Has anyone else got any perspective? Are there some particularly good types of fruits and vegetables that I've missed out? I can't think of any. So I think I'm going to carry on. But let me know, because I've got a feeling I may have missed one or two. Certainly, herbs and spices are amazing. So things like turmeric, it's got the most data on how good a spice is. It can kill cancer cells in 3 different ways, including apoptosis. Like cancer cells change like the gene. It switches off the gene that instructs the cell to die after a certain length of time. So sort of effectively, cancer cells kind of become immortal. But the curcumin in turmeric goes back in and switches that switch back on. So it can kill. It does a couple of other things which actually destroys cancer cells. So I think they're great. But yeah, let me know if I've missed anything. And herbs and spices, just low calorie, high nutrition. The most antioxidant rich herb is mint. So I'll give mint an honourable mention. I'll give amla powder an honourable mention as well. That's actually a fruit. It's powdered Indian gooseberry. It's the most antioxidant rich food in the world. So it's a good little powder to add into things. Although it tastes minging, so you have to really disguise the flavour. And carrying on from that, Manos with a great question. What are great foods for maximum longevity? So whole foods, plant-based diet in general. Those foods I mentioned in particular. Also, hibiscus tea. That's great against heart disease. Of course, with a whole foods, plant-based diet, you're not eating anything that promotes heart disease. So that's bloody massive. Grains, whole grains are shown to increase lifespan. Legumes particularly are found to increase lifespan. The Global Burden of Disease study, I think it was, found that for every 2 tablespoons of legumes, which is about 20 grams, we saw an average 8% decrease in the chance of an early death. 8% per 2 tablespoons. Well, I'm eating 3 cans a day, so that's like loads of tablespoons. So I'm guessing there's like diminishing returns, and I'm not going to live till 1,000, but well, who knows? Be quiet. What else are good foods? Green tea, very good. I think I've talked about a lot of them when I was talking about the fruit and veg. Nuts and seeds. Yeah, some servings of nuts and seeds is found to increase longevity. Yeah. Leon, does the quality of my sleep get worse if I wake up during the night to go to the toilet? No, that's fine. I wake up 2 to 3 times to pee. I do, and it's a sign that you're hydrated, and that's actually very important. Water is the one nutrient that people kind of forget about, and it's the most important one. As long as you're not staying awake for hours afterwards, it's very natural. We do, we have this like circadian rhythm. Ultradian rhythm. And we basically go through 90-minute sleep cycles of different brain waves. And we can wake up between any of them, particularly if we need the toilet, and that's absolutely fine. And normally you just go straight back to sleep again, and it's a real non-issue. If you're not sleeping for 7 to 8 hours a night, then that can be not so good. And I heard a sleep expert, he said, the less we sleep, the sooner we die, basically, like the less we live. It's that important. You don't want to be like oversleeping. You don't need, for an average person, you don't need more than 7 or 8 hours unless you're unwell, in which case some extra sleep may well be a benefit. But yeah, much less than that. People say they're all right, but it is shortening their lives according to sleep experts. So, and it lowers your immune function like crazy. You pick up so many more like viruses and things. So yeah, in terms of life extension, not just food, but exercise, sleep, sense of purpose, sense of community. These are all huge. If you don't have a sense of purpose, the Blue Zone study, I think that was, found an average 8 years off the end of your life. And if you're clinically lonely, which they describe as less than 3 really good friends. Another 8 years off your life. So there's 16 years off the end of your life for stuff that's nothing to do with nutrition or exercise. Just have you got community and have you got a reason to get out of bed? A sense of purpose, like I said, a mission in life. Massive. Adam, good to see you. Paul, what's your opinion on pickled vegetables? They're obsessed with them here in Spain. They are tasty, aren't they? And good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm not sure. I think they're probably not so healthful. I think loads of vinegar is probably not great. It's quite acidifying. Other than apple cider vinegar, it's the one vinegar that's alkalizing, and it's actually good to eat that. I think you can eat some, but a lot of it has a lot of salt in, doesn't it? And like some sugar. Sugar is horrible. Salt is horrible for health. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend going too heavy on pickled vegetables. Mooncat, Tyne cheese, too good to share. Amen. Although we did share some. We had some friends round who train at the gym. And we cooked them your Ethiopian lentil stew, I think. No, we didn't. No. It was their African peanut and lentil stew, which is pretty darn tasty. Not quite as good as the Ethiopian, I don't think. But yeah, we gave them some Tyne cheeses on some lovely... we had these really crisp... I think they were soybean crackers. And... they did. They decided off the back of it to do a 1-month vegan eating challenge. And okay, they didn't stay vegan, but they're eating much less animal products and a high percentage of whole plant foods, but mostly whole plant foods. To be fair, they are quite, from an average person's perspective, very health conscious. From my perspective as a whole foods vegan, quite health conscious. Lovely people. Luke says, should I always cook my green leafies because every time I eat kale it makes my gas smell bad, or could that be the sulfur? It is sulfur. If it's not causing you like pain or bloating, then it's likely fine. But unless it's baby kale, you'll probably get more nutrition by cooking it because we can't break down the cellulose which like surrounds the cells. So you'd be better off cooking it most probably in terms of nutrition, unless you whack it in a smoothie. I found it used to upset my stomach and give me a little pain, and so I actually would cook my kale before I added it to a smoothie, and that alleviated the problem for me. Oh, I just bit my tongue. I was going to quit at 9 p.m. because I really want to wind down for bed, but I'll go another 10 minutes, I think. So get your comments or questions in while you still can, and we'll go for another 10 minutes. Big Spoon, we've been engaged since 2017. Me and Gemma have been engaged for a long time. We want to get married, but it's an expense, isn't it? But hopefully we may be able to do it a bit sooner now. But this whole thing, we wanted to make that union before we couldn't. We engaged 2017, something else has always come up. Sorry, I didn't read that bit. Yeah, but this whole thing, we wanted to make that union before we couldn't. Good. Well, I'm very excited for you. Good stuff. Alex, if you use protein powder, you prefer pea or soy or something else? I use Vivo Life, so I find that to be the most efficacious and the healthiest and the most environmentally conscious, and just like they're good for the workers as well. You know, fair wage and all that sort of thing. They use fermented yellow pea protein and hemp protein. It's a mix. Soy is absolutely fine though if you get a good quality one that's not contaminated. That's the one thing about Viva Life is they do test for over 500 different contaminants. It's third-party testing as well, and so that's the one I trust, and it works very, very well for me. Best one I've ever used. It's naturally flavoured. If you like sort of hyper-processed things, you may think that other protein powders taste nicer. Me personally, I'm used to like more natural things, and for a natural protein powder, it's the top of the bill for me. It's very tasty. They do about 5 different ones, and they're all very, very good. I kind of cycle through them all mix them up. Link below, 10% off code HENCH10 if you want to try those. Other protein powders are available. Do you know what I mean? Like, you do what you want. Steve Backer, do you know a source site which can tell me the nutritional levels of specific foods? Yep. Oh, yeah. Iodine is always a thing. I think there's so much natural variability of iodine. It can be sixfold in seaweed. But yeah, for most nutrients, chronometer, which I was showing people earlier, I'll pop it on the screen for you. CRONOMETER, chronometer.com. You can get a paid version which has got more bells and whistles, but the free basic version is absolutely fine. You can get it on a phone app. It's about £2, I think, or not a lot anyway. Yeah, and you just plug your foods in, hit add food, plug your foods in, and you can see here's all the nutrients. Very, very good. And yeah, free. It's very powerful. Amazing service. Okay, good question. What's that?
Don't worry about it. I'm just doing this.
You're doing this. Blicksters, what do you do if you're thinking about a lot of stuff before bed? Stop it. It can be difficult, can't it? If you've got some kind of stress going on, you're worried about something, it can be difficult. I do know what you mean.
Journal and write it all down before you go to bed.
Journal and write it all down. That's something I've not tried, but apparently that's good advice. I don't generally have that issue unless, you know, sometimes something weird comes up, doesn't it, and throws you a little bit. I mean, get off social media within 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and that'll help. But say you hear some bad news from someone or whatever, it can just be difficult, and sometimes there's bloody nothing you can do, and it's gonna bother you. But I think if you take care of your lifestyle, if you eat well, if you exercise well, if you do all the de-stressing things, again, I know I've said this a couple of times already, cold therapy, breath work, meditation. Yeah, I would try to do some meditation. Yoga Nidra might be a good tactic. So if you look online on YouTube, Yoga Nidra, and you can get ones for sleep, and it basically tells you to do some things like focus on different body parts or all different stuff, and it just takes you out of that repetitive thought loop, and you can just focus on that. And pretty soon you may well fall asleep without realizing. Again, get your stress hormones down. Physiological breathing can be a huge benefit, or at least short in breaths, very long out breaths. It's chemistry, and basically your epinephrine is too high if you're overthinking, so you need to calm that down. Alex C will try Vivo Life next time. Good man. Good man. Yeah, Lolly brings up a good point. I used to always use podcasts for sleep. I found it didn't really hurt my sleep, but yeah, I quite liked Stuff You Should Know podcast. There are a couple of lovely guys, and it's just sort of interesting-ish topics. Most of the time, this really interesting, and just learn like stuff, and yeah, just you just shifting your focus and taking your mind off. I used to have to do that to be able to sleep, but in recent months, because I take care of my stress now with all the protocols I just described to you, I actually don't need to anymore. So I think your normal day-to-day lifestyle, by and large, unless you have a particularly stressful thing occur, you should be able to manage it just with your normal like way of living. Big Spoon Bear, how's Cowboy dealing with the heat? He don't care. He don't care. He goes in the bloody conservatory and lays there. He's mental. Dexter and Heisenberg are suffering a bit, putting ice in their bowl. Gemma put ice in the bowl recently. She's a good cat mum. Bestie, Benny Green's in the hizzy. How you doing, brother? Did you see that interview with that Lethway guy, David Leduc, on David Ram's channel? He's an interesting guy. I think he's meant to be like the open weight. I don't know if he's a world champion. Vegan, a real animal rights activist. It's amazing to see. Sal, hey Hench. Oh, Bench. I had a hard time of cooking without oils. I feel like I'm always burning my food. What do you recommend? Oh, yeah, you put it right. A lot of people accidentally type Bench. I think the keys are next to each other. I just double checked and that's true. So I don't know why I said I think. Non-stick pan, a little water at a time, and keep adding it as necessary. Keep things moving, keep adding it in. You've got to keep an eye, basically. But yeah, that's the answer to that one. Plant-based power, 90% of all stress people worry about will turn out to be okay. Yeah, I read that. I mean, I don't know how they quantify things. I read 95% of the things we worry about never come true. So you're giving your body those stress hormones as though it's happening. Your brain don't know the difference, whether you're just thinking it or you're seeing it materialize in your world. So yeah, that's very huge. I really I go on about it a lot. I recommend Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and the meditation of the same name. I do it most days. It's an hour and 11, but it's so good. I've really benefited from it. So I can't speak highly enough. They're both for free on YouTube. So yeah, daft not to have a look at that. Super Monkey, you skipped my question, but I can repeat it. I'm so sorry. I do sometimes miss questions for some reason. If you could create one optimal serving of nuts to be consumed every day, which nuts and how much would you put in that serving? I think that you're asking an impossible thing. I think it's a bit like asking what is the optimal length for a piece of string. From my perspective, we're all different. We all have individual needs, and I don't think the science has been done. In all honesty, yeah. According to the data, it looks as though walnuts may be the most nutritious. But the trouble is that the vast majority of that data was funded by the California Walnut Institute, and such studies funded by the industries that stand to profit from a positive outcome, those studies are 4 to 8 times more likely to do so. So in a way, I think you almost have to discount it. I certainly do that with meat industry funded studies about meat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we know. I think we can infer that lower fat is probably better. And I often bandy this number about if it's low calories, I say maybe 15% from fat. If it's higher calories, I say maybe 10%. You know, if we look at the data of the longest lived people, but, you know, what do I know? What do we really know for sure? You know, we just need to do so many different studies, and a lot of them don't stand to make anyone any money, so no one's going to fund them. My cat's gone crazy. Cowboy, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He's making that funny noise.
He's gone bleeding bonkers. Bleeding bonkers. Dave Backer. Yeah, you want to be very, very careful with kelp. In fact, I don't really recommend kelp as a source of iodine. It's mental. And the other thing is, if anyone is suffering with thyroid issues, dietitians now don't even recommend seaweed for iodine because, as I say, of the natural variability. So they say really get a supplement like 150 micrograms. I think a bit harder, like higher. Like, why do you want the bare minimum to avoid disease? But obviously you just need to be consistent. That's the thing, be consistent with it on the daily and modulate your intake of thyroxine, like T4 or T3 if you're lucky enough to be getting prescribed that as well, because I think that's probably beneficial relative to how much iodine you're taking in. Guys, I want to stay on. I really, really have got into live streams and I really enjoy hanging out with you all, but I really should wind down for bed because we had a late night recently and it sort of messed our sleep up, and we're both going to bed late, waking up late, and we don't feel optimal, and it's annoying. So I'm going to sadly go against my wishes and sign off. I've had such a lovely stream with you guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and being my mates. I've never had many mates historically. I was a bit of a Billy No mates. You're making me feel very, very special. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us troll free. Again, if you want to optimize your plant-based nutrition, check out my free ebook that you can download. It's a little e-guide to healthy eating. So link below for that. If you check that out and you like it, and perhaps you're left, because there's a basic like overview. It's everything you need to know, in all honesty. But if you really want a deep dive, all of the things, it's all my knowledge, it's all Gemma's like experience, nearly 20 years combined. Our course is now out. It's doing really well. People are loving it. I don't like to brag. Well, I do. It took us bloody months. It took us months to do, and it's finally out and it's doing well, and we're really pleased. And yeah, people are loving it. So if you want to give that a try, it's I think it's pretty affordable. Pretty affordable. Some people charge a lot more for courses. So check that out if you want. And is the cookbooks full price now, Gem?
Yep, afraid so.
Cookbooks are full price, so they're £10 each if you want to buy them individually. Where'd you get your protein? Virtuous Vegan Desserts link below. But they're in the course. They're in the course as part of the bundle. 14 videos. It's online. It's not actual DVDs. 14 videos, big PDF, loads of resources that you can download and print out if you want to. Right, night, boys and girls. As I say, I'm going to try and do twice daily streams. In the morning, be usually between 8 and 9 a.m. kickoff, UK time. In the evening, generally it will start around 6 o'clock kickoff, unless something really important comes up and I need to mix things around. Thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'm just going to put on the screen my new video. This is my most watched video within the first 4 hours. It's on 3,500 views, and that's probably like 80% more viewership than an average video. People are loving it. So check it out if you want to. I basically took my son, well, he took me because he drove. He took me to Asda, and we did his first ever plant-based food shop. He's given the plant-based diet a try. He's pretty on board with the ethics. Yeah, I think he's pretty adamant that he wants to really give it a good go and try to stick to it. His missus is up for trying it. His little girl Ida, she doesn't even eat meat. She thinks it's wrong to eat animals. So I've got high hopes. So please give that video a watch. Give him some encouragement in the comments. And yeah, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out. I love you all very much. And bye for now. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Peace.